When you are given an opportunity, never take it for granted. Some of you know that I worked at an auto body shop for 7 years before I started my own auto detailing business. One thing I didn't share with you guys yet was that I worked at a high-end auto detailing shop for 6 months prior working at the body shop. I wanted to give you guys some background history about me when I was a young man and just barely graduated from high school at that time. This was back in 2009 and I was still enrolled in City College, starting my second semester at the beginning of the year. The moment I turned 18, I told myself I didn't want my parents to support me financially anymore. If I wanted to have freedom from my parents' rules, then I needed to cut off the only way they had to control me, which was money. Now, this was easier said than done because at the age of 19, I didn't have any real world work experience yet. I just told myself I can't do this anymore. I needed to be 100% independent and to be able to support myself and take some burden off my parents' shoulders. I went online and started looking for auto detailing job positions. It took me a couple of months to find the right one. What I meant by the right one is my requirements were the shop had to be a small operation. I didn't feel ready yet to work for a big operational shop. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted someone to teach me their methods, their process, their systems, their techniques. If I chose to work for a big operation shop, I would never get that opportunity. I would have just been a piece of the machine and stuck there until I quit or fired. I stumbled upon a shop down in San Jose, which is a 1 hour drive one way, so 2 hours round trip from San Francisco. I emailed my resume and surprisingly got a reply back within 1 week. I was hella excited and was like, cool, I'm gonna be able to earn my own money now, and on top of that, I get to learn something that I actually enjoy doing. I was hella happy. When something gives you an opportunity, you gotta take it. Don't complain and go for it. My boss asked me how much I wanted to be paid hourly. Back in 2009, I believe the minimum wage in San Francisco County was either $9 or $10 per hour. So I told him I'm happy with $10 an hour for compensation. This job required me to wake up at 6 a.m. and drive 1 hour to be on time at 7 a.m. I was content with $10 an hour. Not a lot of people would have taken this job with the circumstances attached to it. Who wants to wake up and get out of bed 6 a.m. in the morning when they can just get a job that starts at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. so you can get in an extra 1 to 2 hours of sleep? Who wants to drive 2 hours round trip when gas was expensive at $4 something per gallon? Who wants to spend 3 gallons of gas each day to go to work, especially when that is more than 1 hour worth of your daily wage? Realistically, this job I took upon was not worth the $10 per hour, but to me personally, I didn't care about all that. All I knew was at the age of 19, I was passionate about detailing and learning how to run a business, and someone actually gave me an opportunity. I remember my first day arriving at the shop. The first thing my boss did was inspect the exterior condition of the car I was driving to see if I knew what I was doing. I was just starting to learn about paint correction and bought some supplies and tools to perform a basic two-step correction on my car. The paint wasn't perfect, but it was very shiny and glossy and smooth to the touch. I got a positive compliment from my boss and we moved on to introductions of team members. My first impression of the shop was that it could only fit 2 cars inside, so it was a smaller shop than I expected. Everything was very clean and organized and efficient. The team consisted of my boss and a two-man team, one guy for exterior and another guy for interior. Now that I was hired, it became a three-man team, with me being the interior guy and two other guys was now strictly doing exterior work. When you're the new guy, you don't get any respect yet. I had to earn my respect. I did all the dirty jobs that was not respected. Every morning when I arrived, my first responsibility was to sweep out the entire front of the shop to make it look nice and presentable. After all, detailing is about aesthetics. How clean or dirty your shop looks can potentially make a difference between closing a sale or losing a sale when the customer sees the surroundings. Once I was done with the front of the shop, next I had to sweep out the inside of the shop and mop it up. We washed cars outside the shop, but the inside of the shop can get dirty and messy when we blow out the interior of the cars. Once I finished those tasks, laundry was next. All of the towels used the previous day had to be cleaned and dried at the laundromat, which was about a 10-minute drive. They didn't have a washer or dryer at the shop. I had to haul all the dirty towels and use my own car and my own gas to drive to the location, drop off the towels, drive back to the shop, then drive back to go get it. Then drive back to the shop and drop it off and place them neatly at the designated area. It took 1 hour to complete these three tasks. After this was done, then I could begin a day with my team members. At the time, I didn't understand yet what doing these three tasks meant, or how it was preparing me down the road when I start my own business. I looked at it from a point of view as in, I'm the new guy, so they made me do all the bullshit work. That was my mindset at age 19. But now looking back in hindsight, those three tasks taught me a very important lesson. When you're in the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, the first thing you need to do when they wake your ass up is to make your bed look neatly. To someone that doesn't yet understand the purpose of the action, it sounds stupid. The purpose of that systematic training is to teach you discipline and also provide you to jumpstart your day by completing a task. The first hour of each day is the most important. You want to get into a state where you're not feeling lazy and don't want to do shit. By completing small tasks, it helps your state of mind to start working and being productive. Now, at the age of 30, with my own detailing business, I do the same shit every morning by sweeping up the shop and making sure all used towels are cleaned and ready to use for the day. It's these small lessons that might not seem significant at the time, but once you eventually realize the role it plays with your daily shop operations, it's an unforgettable lesson. During my first week on the job, my boss didn't make me do a lot of cars each day. I remembered him telling me not to worry about the speed of how fast I'm able to knock the cars out, but to focus on the quality of my work and learning the systems in place. They had a lot of tools I'd never used before, such as a steamer and commercial extractor for interiors. Due to my inexperience, they had to teach me how to use it so I won't damage the interior. When you are trying to learn something new to you, it takes time, just like any other life skill. I wasn't a fast learner, but I didn't give up. I kept practicing each day to get better and better. After 1 month of practice using the steamer and extractor, I finally got the hang of it and became much more efficient and didn't require to be supervised. Back in 2009, the pricing the shop was charging was not the cheapest or most expensive. It was kind of in the middle. Still, I was surprised people would pay so much to have their cars cleaned. Now that I was starting to get exposed to mid-tier to high-end detailing pricing, I started to think if it was possible for me as well to demand this pricing and have people actually pay me what I'm asking. That got me thinking why my boss said focus on the quality of my work and not how fast I can complete my task. After 3 months of working there, I realized that the customers who are paying a lot of money to get their cars cleaned are expecting top-notch quality and customer service. They don't care if you take a couple of days to work on their car, as long as when they pick up their car and it looks like you did your very best and absolutely nothing more could have been done. Working for the shop put a lot of things in perspective for me. Sometimes what you see, hear, and read online is not the same as real life when it comes to auto detailing. I've been learning about the industry for about a year prior working at this job from online forums. On the forums, you will come across all sorts of people from enthusiasts, weekend warriors, part-timers, full-time professionals. I was amazed at how someone can take a beat-up looking exterior and completely transform it to better than when it was new. Everyone with different skill levels was posting pictures on cars they worked on to show the before and after. Ever since then, I was hooked and determined to learn more about how I can achieve the same results. At that time, I didn't have a lot of money to buy whatever detailing product I desired. There were so many options of products to choose from that I just wanted to try all of them. Realistically, that wasn't possible, so I had to do some research and narrow down some products that had good feedback from the majority of the forum members. Upon receiving the new to me products, I read the instructions on the labels and proceeded to practice on my car with the products. In the beginning, it was frustrating due to not getting the same results that was portrayed online. If everyone else was able to make the car look that good, how come I can't get the same results if I'm using the same products they listed out? Yes, back in the old days, people on the forums will list out all products they used on their projects so everyone can see, and if they were interested, they can purchase the products as well. With 3 months under my belt now at the shop, I realized detailing cars in real life is not easy. Everything looks more simple online, and when you attempt to do it in person, your first attempt might not be a good one. No one is going to get good at something on their first try. You can't compare your first year to someone's 5th year experience. It doesn't work that way. The perfected paint and shiny car you saw online might have took someone 15 hours to perfect. If I were to do it and spend the same amount of time, my results won't be as equally as good yet. The moment of when reality sank in, I told myself, shit, I still have a lot to learn and a long way to go before I can get as good as these guys. After 3 months have passed, I was still the interior guy. By this point, I felt like I've gotten down the basics of how to perform a interior detail on different makes and models. I really wanted to learn how to detail the exterior of the cars. Although I was the interior guy, that doesn't mean I can't watch and learn from the exterior guys during my 8-hour shifts. Whenever I get an opportunity to ask questions or just simply watch and learn from my teammates, I felt happy. I was happy because I believe I'm finally making some progress and learning something new and different aside from just cleaning interiors of the cars. Besides the learning aspect, I had to learn quickly how physically demanding detailing cars was. When you're on your laptop and surfing the forums, you don't get to see anything tangible. What goes behind closed doors to run a successful business, what kind of physical pain people go through after completing a project, what prep work was required, as in buying the right products and tools for the job, or what kind of extensive training they also went through as well. From the outside, they are just solely working on one project, but I don't know if maybe they worked on 5 cars that week, but only that one project was good enough to be posted online for others to see and criticize. I stayed at this job for about 6 months before I left. To some, it might seem very short and sudden. If I enjoyed detailing and was passionate about detailing, why didn't I stay longer than that to continue learning? Well, when you're working towards something, and it can be a goal or milestone, you want to give it your very best to slowly but surely work towards it. When I got hired, I was grateful for the opportunity that was given to me at that time. I told myself, I want to be one of the best in this industry someday. In order to work towards that statement, I made to myself, I can't be restricted or limited by only working on interiors of cars. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut instincts and make a decision. You can be wrong or you can be right, but one thing I do know is that your intuition will not lie to you. I was still very young at the age of 19, but even then I knew better by not wasting my time if I was serious about being one of the best. With every profession, it takes time to build up the skill, the knowledge, the experience. Same thing applies to auto detailing. I can't just be working on interiors for the rest of the time and not have an opportunity to touch the exterior of the cars. Mastering how to dial in the exterior of the car is equally as important. With my 6 months experience working for a mid to high end shop, I was able to take away some very valuable harsh lessons that I needed to learn sooner or later. Opportunities will always be available to grab and hold on to, but just because you've gotten an opportunity doesn't mean you should just stick to one and not be open to seek out more opportunities. I learned to understand why I was put in that position at the shop. It's not about what I wanted to do. It ultimately comes down to what type of employee the shop system is required. If the pieces of the system are missing, then everything is thrown out of sync. I was someone who filled up a piece of the system and gelled together to make it run smoothly. If I wanted to shift to another position, then another piece needed to take my spot. This was my first dose of reality and what it takes to run a business.